Hello, welcome back to the series of lectures on English poems. Today I am going to discuss before you Edmund Spenser's One Day I Wrote Her Name Upon the Strand. The video is going to be helpful for the students preparing for West Bengal SLST examinations and also the general students of English literature. The sonnet One Day I Wrote Her Name Upon the Strand was included in Spenser's 1595 sonnet sequence Amority. It is a collection of 89 sonnets, actually 88 sonnets, because sonnet number 83 is repeating sonnet number 35. The sequence was published along with Epithalamion, a marriage hymn, in 1595. And both this collection, Amority and Epithalamion, they record Spenser's passion for Elizabeth Boyle, whom he married in June 1594. Amority has come from the Italian word amor, meaning love, and amority literally means little loves. So the sonnet sequence is expression of Spenser's passion, Spenser's love for Elizabeth Boyle through poetry. Each poem of the collection is a little love that Spenser feels for Elizabeth Boyle. In my last lecture on Sidney's Loving in Truth, I discussed in detail the origin of sonnets, how this Italian art form came into England, and the evolution of the Italian sonnet into an English one. Petrarchan sonnet and English sonnet, they are quite different. Petrarchan sonnet is a sonnet where a courtly love is treated, and the 14 lines are divided into two parts, octave and sestet. In the English sonnet or Shakespearean sonnet, we find that the theme of these sonnets are not entirely courtly love, and that 14 lines are divided into 3 quatrains and a concluding couplet. Spenser creates his own type of sonnet writing known as Spenserian sonnet, where the 14 lines are divided into 3 linked quatrains and a concluding couplet. Thematically, the poems are also different from Petrarchan tradition of sonnet writing, though the poems very much treats love. In Petrarchan sonnet, we find the poems are written in the courtly tradition of love poems, where the beloved is completely reluctant and the lover is wooing the lady. In Spenser, we also find that innocent wooing, but in Spenser the pain of the lover is not so intense. Rather, there is a hope for the lover to win the beloved, and also we find that the beloved is not completely speechless. Rather, the beloved is also speaking in Spenser's poem. One Day I Wrote Her Name Upon the Strand is sonnet number 75 in that sequence called Amority. The first quatrain talks about the poet's attempt to write the name of the beloved on the seashore. Second quatrain describes the beloved rebuking the lover for doing the vain attempt to write the name of the beloved on the seashore, as she thinks that like that name she will also die one day. So it is a futile attempt on the part of the lover to immortalize the name of the beloved, who is a mortal being. In the third quatrain, we find that the lover is countering the beloved's argument and saying that through poetry he can immortalize the name of the beloved. And the concluding couplet comprises the message of the poem, that where death has the power to take away everything, where time has the power to take away everything, there is only love which can subdue time. Another important aspect of the poem is that the poem creates a dramatic atmosphere. We find a kind of a debate between the lover and the beloved. The lover is trying to immortalize the name of the beloved, whereas the beloved considers that it is a futile attempt on the part of the lover. And the first phrase, one day, it basically describes us, the colloquialism, the use of words that we usually use in our day-to-day speech, makes the poem, rather makes the debate a very lively one. And also here we find the use of many archaic words like ache, code, and this lends to the poem a kind of romantic atmosphere. Let's go through the poem. One day I wrote her name upon the strand. So as I mentioned before, the first phrase, the first word one day, it basically sets the dramatic tone of the poem. I wrote her name upon the strand. So the poet in first person is present within the poem. I wrote her name refers to the name of the beloved. Upon the strand. Now why on the strand? Because one reason may be that Elizabeth Boyle, the poet's beloved, whom he married ultimately in June 1594, resided close to the sea. So this may be one of the reasons why the poet is actually trying to write her name on the strand, on the sea beach. But came the waves and washed it away. So waves refers to the time. Okay. So waves came and washed it away, and washed the name of the beloved, washed what I had written on the shore of the sea. So this waves here referring to time, and time has cleared my attempt to write the name of my beloved. Waves and washed. So there is a alliteration, a repetition of the sound W, and washed it away. We find a kind of onomatopoeic effect. Onomatopoeia is a figures of speech where the sound echoes the sense. Here washed it away has that kind of onomatopoeic effect. Again I write it with a second hand. So after the wave came and washed my attempt, then I wrote it second time. But came the tide. Now in place of wave came tide, a stronger force, and made my pains his prey. So pains refers to the pains of writing the name again and again, or rather here refers to the pains of writing poetry in praise of the beloved. Pains his prey. So here we find again a kind of alliteration. P is repeated, and a metaphor where the tide is behaving like a predatory creature, okay, and it victimatized and destroyed what the poet lover had. Vain man, said she, that doest in vain essay, a mortal thing so to immortalize. Now here you find the voice of the beloved, and in the first line of this quatrain, vain man, said she, that doest in vain essay, a pun is used here because this two vain has two different meaning. The first vain means proud conceitedly. So you are very proud to doing this attempt to immortalize a mortal thing. The doest in vain essay, this vain means futile, and essay refers to attempt. Okay. A mortal thing so to immortalize. So what you are doing, the beloved is rebuking the lover, okay, that what you are doing is a foolish act because you are trying to immortalize a mortal thing, which is quite impossible. For I myself shall like to this decay. So I myself will like to this decay. So the way you are writing my name and waves and tides are coming and they are washing it away, similarly one day I will also will be washed away by time. So time will also take me to the other world. And ache my name, ache refers to an archaic word also, and ache my name be wiped out likewise. So in the same manner my name will be destroyed, will be taken by time. Now come Volta at the 9th line at the beginning of the 3rd quatrain. Not so. So this is where the lover is countering the beloved. Not so could I, let baser things devise to die in dust, but you shall live by fame. So the lover is giving the counter argument here. Not so. So it is not the way you are thinking. It's not the case. Could I, let baser things devise. Devise means wished or think out. Now baser things refers to the adulterated or allied metals, or rather which are not pure, and this refers to the medieval idea of Saint Thomas Aquinas's idea of inferior metals, okay, which are easily perishable, but the pure metal like gold are not easily perishable. So what the poet or what the poet lover is trying to say here, that the beloved is like a pure metal, and that's why she is not a subject to decay. But you shall live by fame, that you shall live, okay, you shall not die, okay, rather you shall live by fame. So again it reminds us of Ovid's Metamorphoses, it reminds us of Marvels to his coy mistress, and also Shakespeare's sonnet number 18. Okay, so long as man can breathe or eyes can see, so long live these and these give lives to thee. So this is how these poets, they are trying to immortalize the love, to immortalize the lady through writing poetry, okay, through celebrating the fame, celebrating the intensity of their relationship, intensity of their love. My words your virtues rare shall eternize. So my words, my poetry, your rare virtues. So the virtues that you have is very rare. So instead of saying rare virtues, here is virtues rare. So a case of inversion where the normal order of words are changed for emphasis. Your virtues rare shall eternize. So through poetry I shall eternize your rare virtues. And in the heavens write your glorious name. Heavens refers to eternity. So I will write your name in eternity, because this poetry will be handed down from generations after generations. So they will know about your rare virtues. They will know about the intensity of love that we share. Now the concluding couplet. Where, when as death shall all the world subdue, our love shall live and latter life renew. So this is the message of the poem, that when death will take away everything, when time will take away everything, our energy, our vitality, our beauty, only love, love's not time's fool, though rosy lips and cheeks within his bending sickle compass come. So the bold declaration that Shakespeare made in his sonnets, we find echo of these lines. Whereas, whenas, where here refers to perhaps the heaven, where the poet wants to write the name of the beloved. Whereas when death shall all the world subdue. So death is here again personified, when death will subdue all the world. Our love shall live. In the atmosphere where death only prevails, our love will stand apart. Okay. Our love shall live and latter life renew, and it will have a kind of a regenerative power. Okay. At the first line, the first line of this concluding couplet has this somber, gloomy, atmosphere of death, and the words are used here are very grave words, whereas in the second sentence of this concluding couplet we have a very soft sounding words which are countering the idea which is told at the very first line. Okay. So, the eternal question of the poets and the philosopher, that how to resist the power of time to take away everything from human beings, from human society, is ultimately given here in the manner of Shakespeare, in the manner of other literary giants of the time, that it is through love, through poetry, that destructible time can be defeated. If you have any questions, any queries, observations, agreements, disagreements, feel free to express that in the comment section. Thank you very much for watching the video.